Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a brow video. I'm going to be showing you guys how I've been doing my brows lately. I've been doing this more like fluffy, sort of wispy, I don't know, soap brow vibe situation. And it's very similar look-wise to brow lamination. And brow lamination has been, I keep messing with this one piece of hair over here. Brow lamination has been kind of like that hot trend right now. First was microblading, and then it went to brow lamination, and that's what everyone's, posting all over social media. And the vibe is very much like just, the hair is standing up, very wispy, just like a fluffier, more messy brow look. I feel like this has been the trend for a while. I wasn't jumping on the train. Microblading really never appealed to me. I obviously have a little bit more of a fuller brow situation just naturally. So for me, it's just about polishing them a little bit. And, sometimes it can look heavy, especially when you have an already fuller brow, to do too much. So it can go from 0 to 100 real quick. And so I had like sort of a routine down, and it was the brow routine I always did. And I'd try new brow products, and some brow products don't work well doing the way that I did it. And I don't know what happened, but one day I just decided to change it up, and it stuck. I actually really like this brow. I never thought that I would, honestly, like this brow look on myself, but I'm feeling it. What I'm not feeling is brow lamination itself. There's a lot of chemicals involved. I'll get into kind of like what brow lamination is and the details about it in the video, but essentially there's chemicals that I really just don't feel comfortable putting on my face. And then there's some long-term risks in doing brow lamination. I will also get into that a little bit. So I just feel like if I can get this look on my own, and honestly, it's a shorter time to do my brows this way than it was the other way. Why would I not do that? Why would I not do that? I think brow lamination is actually only like a 6-week thing, and then you gotta go and do it again. So like, I don't know. I think I'm good doing it this way. So anyway, I thought I would share kind of what I've been doing. So here we go. This is the video. So if you guys want to see how I got this brow look and what I did, the steps, the products, and all the good stuff, then keep on watching. So I have all my makeup already on right now. It's so funny because in the monitor, my makeup looks decent. In person, I was like not feeling it, but all of a sudden I'm feeling it now. Okay. Anyway, today we're gonna do my sort of faux brow lamination at home. I guess that's what we'll call this video. I started to do my brows a different way. I want to say like maybe a month ago, and you may have noticed on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I post all of my makeup looks on Instagram, and you might notice like in some of the postings, like as my brows started to kind of change a little. I don't know, it's not dramatic, but I just started to change the way that I have been doing them. And as it happens, brow lamination has gotten really popular lately. And the technique that I've been doing is kind of like that. So I feel like, I mean, at least I feel like I'm achieving the same look-ish. I'm fantastic at this. So I thought I would share because I've had a few comments on my brows, and I really like how I've been doing them lately. I like how they've been looking. And I feel like it's kind of that same brow lamination vibe without the brow lamination. So I figured I would do a video and just show you guys like what I've been doing. Because really I've had like the same brow technique pretty much for years. And I did do a brow video maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And my brow technique has not really changed much until now. So brow lamination, I pulled up Allure magazine, and I'm just gonna read to you like what it says on here in case you don't know what brow lamination is, you haven't seen it. It's basically a microblading alternative. So it fills in the gaps in the brows and gives the illusion of fullness and growth in a non-invasive way. So like where microblading, you're actually tattooing your skin essentially. With brow lamination, you're not. I guess it originated in Russia. It's sort of like a semi-permanent soap brow. It takes your unruly or thinning brow hair, smooths it out while lifting the hair in a more vertical direction. The end result is super smooth brows that look like you have brow gel on them. Cara Delevingne, however you say her name. Amelia Clark, Lucy Boynton, I don't know who that is. They've had it done. So basically it is a perm for your brows, and it will keep your brows lifted and like standing straight up for about 6 weeks. So they paint your brows with a chemical cream. It breaks down the bonds of the hair and allows it to be moved into a new shape. They put a neutralizer on it and reforms the bonds into the new shape. And they put a nourishing oil and moisturizer after the chemical treatment process. It says that the harsh chemicals in brow lamination can cause eczema. It can also cause irreversible damage if it comes in contact with your eye. It can also harm your brow hairs themselves over time from overprocessing, and just like the hair on your head, it can cause hair loss, thinning, breakage, and the perms on your scalp use a chemical called ammonium thioglycolate. I don't know about this one, if that's what it contains, but I don't know. This seems like it's kind of risky and can do more long-term damage than it's kind of worth, especially if you can get the look at home. My thoughts, my opinion, I think brow lamination looks great, but you know, the older I get, the more aware I have become on chemicals and not really wanting to put or to try to minimize the chemicals that I'm using. I still color my hair, but I try to do a cleaner hair color. I mean, you know, you got to pick your battles. You know? So anyway, I came up with this. It's really not groundbreaking. It's very easy. There are a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to show you how I do it, and then I'll just kind of throw in some tips that I've seen that I think may be helpful if your brows don't cooperate doing it my way. But I just figured I would share kind of how I've been doing it and getting this a similar result, like end result, I feel. And take with it what you will. With that said, we're going to jump into it. So here's what I use. I use a brow gel. The one I use is from Benefit. It's the 24-hour brow setter. I love this brow gel. I also use the Benefit Gimme Brow, which this one is completely rubbed off. This one I have here is in shade 3, but I just got a fresh one in shade 4 that they sent me. I just actually literally got a PR package from Benefit 10 minutes ago. So I have some additional products from them that I've never tried, but like this here, it's called the 3D Brow Tones. It's supposed to add highlights into the brow. I thought maybe we could give that a shot just to see what it's like. And then the other key products that I use are from Urban Decay, and these are the brow blades. Now I have 3 different shades here. It just depends on what my skin tone is doing. I know that's going to sound weird, but like I have dark drapes, for example, that I'll probably use today because I do have a self-tan on. But if I was paler, I wouldn't use this because it would make me look angry, you know? So I also have Neutral Nana and I have Cafe Kitty. So they're all a little bit different tones. Cafe Kitty is the lightest, warmest, neutral sort of in the middle, and then Dark Drapes is dark. So it just depends, like I said, what my skin tone is doing, what I end up using. There are other brands that do make these pens, these brow pens, but that is what I'm using. So Just an FYI. In my recent trying new makeup video, I did try the Brow Pro Micro from Rimmel. This one is not, it does not get the same results as this. You have to push down much harder. Like if I go light, it doesn't do anything like compared to like this that is going to give me like razor sharp hairs. You probably can't even see that, but it gives me like the actual hair strokes. So this one I don't recommend, but there are other brands that have them anyway. So the first thing I typically do is I brush up the brow hairs. And this spoolie has glitter in it. Perfect. And I just literally brush my hairs up completely straight. Now this is kind of how I would typically trim my brows. I would usually like go along the edges and just cut any of the hairs that are sticking up. But I don't do that anymore because I like the fluffy look. I will trim them though because they can still get crazy, but I don't trim them as much as I used to. I do have some gaps still, like right here. But anyway, so I'll start by brushing them completely up. I'll do the same on the other side. Now I always do this after I've done all of my makeup because I don't want to get foundation in them, and I will. Especially with this technique because you're kind of brushing them up onto the skin. So I don't know how it would work if you do your brows before foundation. In this case, I'm not quite sure, but I don't do it that way. All right, so I brush them up, and then I take my clear brow gel. You can take any clear brow gel. I just like this one from Benefit, but there's so many brow gels you can use here. And I just do the same thing I just did, which is comb the brows up. Straight up. Now, this part can differ. How I do it is I simply take my fingers and I push the hair into my skin, essentially. I just push it up and press it into my skin like so. If your brows do not stay, you can use a saran wrap, like a plastic wrap, and you can put the plastic wrap over the brow and use a plastic wrap to push the brows in. I don't do that because it's not that deep for me, one, and two, like I don't want to mess up the rest of my makeup. I don't want to disturb the rest of my makeup, and it's just not necessary for me, but you can do that. I have seen it done, but it might give you a more dramatic result, actually. I've never done it. I've never found the need, but you can. So now I'm doing this one, same thing, brushing them up, and then while they're wet, while the gel is wet, I'm just pushing it into my skin. And you can do it a few times. Like if your brows are a little thicker and they don't like to cooperate. But like the reason I love this gel is because literally it is like glue. Like once you push them down and this gel dries, like your brows aren't falling down. Like they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay just like this, which is the idea of brow lamination, right? And you know something? I don't find that this adds time into doing my brows. If anything, it actually reduces the time it takes me to do my brows. Of course, not today because I'm explaining this, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so now this is when I would take my brow blade or brow pen, whatever. And then now I can really see the gaps, right? Because I've brushed all the hairs up. And I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to fluff some hairs into those gaps. like that. Now, you can opt to change shades at this point and go in with a lighter one in the front, which will give you a more kind of natural look. You don't have to, it's totally a preference. So next I just do the same thing in the front. I just draw these little hairs. Like so. Easy peasy. So I'm just going to take this one on this side and do the front since we're here. And like literally this clear brow gel is like, I can feel it, like my brows are cemented to my face. Like they're not going anywhere, you know? That's why I love this brow gel. Okay. I'm going to take this one again. By general rule, you want to keep like the tail end of your brow the darker shade and the front end lighter, just so that you don't look angry, you know? It provides dimension and depth, so it looks more realistic, I think. But again, that's just a personal preference. You know, it's not necessary. Did I put too much of an arch there? Maybe. I can just add some on this side. So, that's that. Look how fluffy they look. And if you find any other like sparse areas you want to kind of throw some lines in, this literally takes 2 seconds. Now, when you put those lines in, sometimes they look a little bit harsh. So, you know, you can either just take a regular spoolie and brush them through, and they'll just kind of blend in a little bit. You might want to leave them if you like that look. I don't know. That's also an option. But what I like to do is add a little bit extra dimension, depth, and color to them. And that's when I go in with the Gimme Brow. This is going to blend the hair strokes in while adding a little bit of color, a little bit more fullness, and a little bit more dimension. I'm going in with number 3. I just like to kind of wipe the excess off on the edges because I don't want too much of this. And I'm just going to comb that through the front. Now you can't really push the brows into the skin at this point, because if you do, you're going to be transferring color up in your makeup, and you don't want that. So I just kind of lightly do it. I don't know if it's necessary, but you can tell that like blended things out just a little bit. I think it looks a little bit more natural, but you know, this is just an extra step, like I said. Okay. So those are a little bit fuller than I probably normally do. I don't really know how that happened exactly, but whatever, it's fine. You can like lean back and just make sure that everything kind of looks even on the bottom. And again, if you want, you can just go in with a spoolie and just further blend. I just, you know, maybe I'm getting crazy now, but really at this point, I'm just like, I'm done. And so that is pretty much how I do it. So easy, right? I think the longest part of this video is me telling you what brow lamination is. Okay, you guys, so helicopter. Okay, guys, so this is the final brow situation. It's been a little while because I took a phone call and I ate some lunch and all that. You know, they're not perfect, but I think like that's the whole idea. Like they don't have to be perfect. It is kind of a sloppier brow look in a sense because they're like fluffy and, you know, like you see the hair strokes and then there's your hairs are kind of standing up and whatever. It's like a fluffy brow situation. And that's why like I haven't been trimming them down as much and whatnot because I really don't want them to be perfect. I like actually like that some hairs are longer than others and they're just, I've always just had a more polished brow look. So I'm kind of digging that this is a little bit more sloppy. And sloppy isn't the right word. Just a little bit more fluffy. They're fluffier. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about these brows. If you like this whole technique. If you think my brows looked better before. If you like them better now. I think there's a time and a place for this. I think that I definitely go back to the other brows at certain times. But right now I'm like really enjoying this particular brow look. So I think I'm going to stick with it for a little while. And yeah. That is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you never miss when I upload a video. You can follow me on social. My handle is @GLAM_LATTE. And don't forget the GLAM Latte Beauty Podcast is on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, CastBox, and iHeartRadio. All those details are in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
I just wanna hold you.